Have you ever looked into the night sky and wondered if there was something else out there? Have you ever felt someone watching you in an empty room or seen shadows at the foot of your bed? The question as to whether there is other life in the universe is one of the most controversial debates to date. Welcome to Encounters. On this week's episode, we'll be looking into the case of a recent alien sighting. Later on in the show, we'll be speaking with a young girl who experienced the encounter in her local park. First, however, we had the police officer who was called to the scene, and we'll be reviewing the dash cam footage from the night. We also have a recording of the phone call that took place between the officer and the victim. On this VT, we have the officer in question speaking about the night he was called out. Thank you for being here, officer. You were the one who was called to the scene?
Yes, that's right.
Were you also the one who picked up the call?
No, one of my colleagues answered the phone. I stayed on the line as I was dispatched.
So, did you know why you were being called to this woman's location, or did you only find out once you arrived?
I knew why, but that still didn't prepare me for the state that she was in.
Now, before we look at the camera footage, let's have a listen to the recording of the call on the night of the incident.
Hello, emergency services operator. Which service do you require?
Please.
I'll connect you now.
Hello, police department. What's the address of your emergency?
The park?
Okay, and can you tell me exactly what's happened?
There was a, running. I was running and there was this noise like an animal in the bushes or something, and I could still hear it when I kept running, like it was following me, and it was
Yeah.
big, like a big noise, and then there was this light and it knocked me over and I tried to run but I couldn't, and then there was this shape like a person but not, and I don't think it was human, and it smelled like metal and sulfur and...
Okay, and do you have a history of any mental illnesses or anything at all?
No.
Okay, and have there been any recent and sudden changes in your life that may have caused you to act out in any
No,
way?
listen.
Have you taken any strong medication or recreational drugs recently?
No, I was attacked.
Alright, are you injured in any way?
Yes. No, maybe, I don't know. No, not seriously, no.
Okay, please can you stay on the line? An officer has been dispatched and it will be with you shortly. Okay, please remember to stay on the line, thank you.
Did you ever think that she may have been delusional?
At first, yes. Either that or it was a prank that had got out of hand. Or somebody who was homeless and seeking shelter.
If initially you didn't believe there was a serious threat, and please forgive me if it's an absurd question, why would an officer have to be dispatched? How did you, or the others on the force, know that this case required police attention?
There might not have been a clear reasoning behind the call to begin with, but I was told she sounded extremely distressed and that she may become a danger to herself or others. As we heard in the recording, just how she said that she had been attacked. No matter the severity of the claim, it always is better to be safe than sorry.
Now that you have seen and studied the camera footage from the night of the incident, do you believe that she was telling the truth?
I can't see any other explanation for what happened.
That being said, let's take a look at the footage. Now, this is quite interesting. From this footage, we can see that the victim was clearly distressed. Could you tell me what your thoughts were at that very moment?
I thought that she was too upset. For something quite serious not to have happened, I think that there was definitely something out there.
Do you think it was an alien? Or do you think it was something else entirely?
No, it would be very easy to believe that it was something more feasible, like someone drunk. But no, it was nothing like I've ever seen before. I can't quite explain it.
Is there any particular reason you think this? Was it just from the girl's reaction, or was there something more?
There was definitely that strange smell Emily described. It was pungent. It was like rotting eggs. When I first got to the scene, I saw these lights that, along with the smell, I think it just further consolidates that there was definitely something else out there that may not have been human.
Did you believe in aliens before the incident, or was this your first for you?
I mean, I've heard stories before, but I thought that's all they were. But now I think it would be naive of myself to think that we're the only life in the universe.
So if you didn't before, you're now 100% convinced that there is other life out there.
Oh yes, definitely. I think it's closer than people think.
Alright. Thank you for your time, officer. I know that this couldn't have been easy for you. Do you have any idea as to what you're going to be doing now?
Well, I'm going to continue working in the force, but with this new knowledge, I might start a society for like-minded people or something similar.
Well, I wish you luck in whatever it is you do.
Next up, after the break, we'll be talking to the victim of the attack herself, Emily. Before the break, we spoke to the police officer who was called to the scene of an alien sighting. Joining us in the studio now is the witness herself, Emily. Hello, Emily.
Hello.
This is the first time that you've opened up to speak about this.
Yeah.
Is there any reason in particular why now?
I guess I just didn't feel ready to talk about it up until now.
Understandable. It must have shaken you up quite a bit.
Yeah, it did.
We appreciate that you have taken the time to come and talk to us about this. Now, I want you to feel as comfortable as possible, so if there's anything that you don't feel comfortable speaking about, it's okay to not answer. Okay. Thank you. Now, could you tell us from the beginning what happened that night? When and how did it all start?
I was walking through the park on the way home. I took out one of my earbud things to check the time, and I decided to take a shortcut because it was getting late. So I kind of went off of the path, and there was this noise coming from the bushes, and I thought it was a squirrel or something, so I went on. But the noise was getting louder, and I figured, okay, this is too big to be a squirrel, you know. So I slowed down, and then there was this smell like sulphur, the one I talked about on the phone on the call. So I went over to see what it was, but I couldn't really see anything.
Now, what exactly made you stop? I mean, I know you heard a sound or some rustling or something, but what made you investigate when other people would run? I mean, it's kind of brave. Would you
Yeah.
consider it brave?
More like fear, to be honest. I don't know. I think my legs would have stopped working if I tried to run anyway. But they say, you know, fear makes you do stupid things, makes your brain stop working. So.
And you have no idea what the rustling sound could have been?
Could have been anything. Could have been a person, a dog, something that needed help, or just wanted to see what it was, you know, for peace of mind. But it turned out to be anything but.
Shall we get started on what happened next?
Okay. So I went to go back to the path, but then the noise was getting louder. And then there was this light and this figure. It was almost human, I guess, but not really. I'm not sure. That's where my memory kind of starts to fail. But yeah, I went to go, you know, towards it, but it wasn't a person. It wasn't an animal. Whatever it was, it knocked me over and it stood over me. I can't really remember much after that. Next thing I knew, I was being escorted away by a policeman, and they were asking me loads of questions, and then I just wasn't there anymore.
You weren't there anymore? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, at home. Like I was at home, and I don't know how I got there. It just was.
So, do you remember making the phone call?
Yeah, I remember making the phone call, but it's like I was spaced out. I can't remember it properly.
But can you remember remember the incident itself?
Oh yeah, clear as day. I don't think you can remember. I don't think you forget something like that.
Wow. I'm guessing you were a bit shocked afterwards.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I said before, fear kind of makes your brain stop working. I think anyone would be. They say fight or flight response kicks in when something horrific happens like that. But at first I was just like frozen in place.
And your eventual response was?
Oh, flight. I didn't know what it was capable of.
Obviously, it's been a while since it happened. Thank you so much, Emily, for joining us. How are you feeling now?
Well, I don't think it'll be the same, will it?
I'm not sure I follow.
Life, knowing that there's more and I was so close I could touch it. Nobody really knows what that's like, but I now know for sure that it exists, and you know, it's not necessarily pleasant.
How do you mean?
Well, whatever it was, it knocked me to the ground and it attacked me. I'm inclined to believe it was hostile.
Did any serious injury occur?
Nothing serious, nothing broken. It did leave some marks.
Now, these are regular cuts and bruises, but they appear to be quite an intricate pattern. Do you remember how you got them?
No, that's something I can't remember. I guess it could have just been like rocks on the ground, but I don't know, the fact that they're arranged the way they are, it doesn't make it seem like a coincidence.
And have they healed now?
Yeah, they're mostly gone.
And you're feeling much better now? I hope.
Well, I don't exactly feel normal, but yeah, I guess I feel a lot better, yeah.
I'm glad to hear it. And I hope you have a full recovery.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emily, so much for joining us today and for sharing your experience openly with us. And thanks to you, our viewers. If you have any information about this incident or any other incident, please feel free to contact us either on social media or by email. We look forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye.